Real Madrid and Juventus, that is the Champions League final set to be played in Cardiff after a 2-1 Atletico Madrid victory, although a 4-2 loss on aggregate. The second that Real Madrid banged in that goal just before the end of the first half, off of Isco's foot off the rebound, off of a great dancing move by Karim Benzema, off of a great setup from Real Madrid in general. But still, once that goal went in, it kind of sucked the life out of the stadium. And unfortunately, how the away goal rule works, it went from Atletico Madrid being a goal away from forcing extra time, as all of you know, to 3 goals away from trying to advance to the Champions League final. They had the right plan of attack. They got on the board early. Salniguez with a great header to put them up within, I think, 10-11 minutes of the game starting. And then they got the pen in the 16th minute, which Griezmann finished, even though Navas was right there to make the save. It just wasn't, he didn't get enough of his hand on it to get it out. So 2-0 in under 20 minutes, and it's game on. You need one more. And as they were saying, the commentary throughout the game in itself was, hold on, at least through this half without giving up a goal, and come in fresh for the second half, find that third goal and try to force extra time. But you forget that you're still dealing with the defending champions. You're dealing with an attack that is capable of creating chance and opportunity in a second, and they had the upper hand in general just because of the 3-0 win they had in Real Madrid, well, still Madrid, at the Bernabeu just before. That was the last game that was the last Champions League match to take place at Atletico Madrid Stadium. I believe it's the Vicente Calderón. They have a new stadium coming their way. And as again, one of the commentators was saying during the match in itself, at least on Fox Sports, who had all right commentary. I didn't think it was anything too special. It just wasn't the same as what you get on BN or even NBC Sports, or especially like a Sky Sports type of deal. But it's all I get to do. That's all I get in terms of like, who do I get to watch? So in itself, that goal changed everything. Benzema danced on, in, and around three world-class Atletico Madrid defenders, including Diego Godin. And what I was so surprised there is, why didn't he just touch that ball, push it out? Touch that ball and push it out and give him a corner. It's a much better situation than letting him dance around 3 of you. And of course, the result of it was a goal. It was a remarkable save at first from Atletico, and then Isco just got enough on it. I have to say, Isco was everywhere. And I still don't understand why. I mean, I do understand why Zidane starts him all the time. I'm saying, why isn't he the number one to be playing just behind Ronaldo and Benzema? Obviously, it's an NBA term, the gravity of a certain player. How much do the defenders have to lure their attention away from one person towards another? And Ronaldo's got possibly the biggest gravitational pull in all of world football. But what happens due to that, as most of you I'm sure already know, is it does give Benzema the ability to work at least in isolation. Again, I know a basketball term, but in general, he gets to work one-on-one with defenders, and obviously he was capable of beating 3 of them. But then you have Isco, who was just kind of floating around. I wonder what his touch map looked like, because he was everywhere in the middle. He was around the box, he was in the box, in front of the box. I felt like he had a great game. I know he got pulled off around the 77th, 80th minute, maybe because he was gassed, but he just seems to be the guy who, when Marcelo isn't playing his best, and I thought his left foot looked great as always, but not. It wasn't like it was in the first leg. And then you have people like Modric and Casemiro, who kept finding himself in trouble. I felt like in terms of the fouls committed, 23 fouls committed by Atletico Madrid. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow cards handed out. There should have been more. I do like the idea of, come on, let the boys play. But it was getting very chippy very early in that game, and the fact that it finished 11-on-11, I was pretty blown away by. Carded Savic, Gabi, Godin, and Correa for Atletico. Ramos, I mean, come on. I mean, even I know, watching enough Francis Maxwell speak, that Ramos is going to get a card in a Champions League match, or sent off possibly. It's a very Ramos thing to do. I have to say, when he's backpedaling on the defensive end, he makes it look so easy. He floats. He looks elegant in the way that he plays defense. And I know that he's a hot-headed player in general and finds himself in trouble more times than not. But it comes to what seems like the fundamentals of being a defender, he's pretty damn good at that. And this is coming after watching Juventus' defense. So he's like good enough to make their back four, I guess. It's a joke. Obviously, Ramos is a world-class defender. Real Madrid versus Juventus. It seems like this is going to be a great final. And here's the reason why. Real Madrid has a chance at making history and becoming the first team to ever go back-to-back in the Champions League. And then on the other end, you have a couple of players who deserve a Champions League. I've said it for a while, Gigi Buffon deserves a Champions League. He's been there. And 2 years ago, they said he wasn't supposed to, 37 years old, do you have one more in you? Well, 2 years later, he does, and he's back there. And he's a big reason that he's back there along with their defense. Dani Alves, after being let go from Barcelona, has made it farther and been more successful at Juventus this season than Barcelona has been this season. So I think there's a lot of good storylines. Again, as you know, I'm pulling for Juventus. Until then, wish Francis luck in Africa, and we'll see you next time.